Hello and welcome to Business News Weekly with Business News Wales. I am your host, Connor Simmons. Coming up this week, I'll be talking to Adrian Field about how Cardiff can become a leading destination in business events. Matt Jones of Lime R+D is coming to the studio to talk to us about how research and development tax credits could benefit your business. We have Vince Stephenson in the studio to talk to us about design and supply, about how this manufacturing firm came to be and where it's going in the future. I'm speaking to Huntingdons Fusion Techniques about the massive £1 million export deal that's set to change the game for the Welsh-based manufacturer. I take an in-depth look at Wales' innovation-led growth potential, courtesy of Swansea University. His Royal Highness the Duke of Cambridge has opened the Brains Dragon Brewery. We spoke to David Knowles of Brains to find out what the future of this iconic beverage makers holds. And our very own Chris McColgan will be taking a look at some of the most interesting business events taking place this week. All that and more. But first, exports are a crucial part of the Welsh economy, and success in a foreign market is always worth celebrating. To that end, we spoke to Georgia Gascoigne, CEO of Huntingdons Fusion Techniques, who are on the cusp of securing a £1 million export deal. We spoke to her about how they've gone about ensuring success on a global stage.
I'm Georgia Gascoigne. I'm the Managing Director of Huntingdons Fusion Techniques. We've been in business about 44 years and we are inventors, designers and manufacturers of weld purging products.
So for the uninformed, what exactly are weld purging products?
Okay, when a welder is wanting to weld a piece of stainless steel tube, for example, he has to fill that area with an argon or an inert gas in order to expel as much oxygen that he possibly can from the area of the weld. The more oxygen he has, the weld has a danger of oxidizing, and that isn't good. That means that the weld will be discoloured and black.
So give us a rundown of this deal that Huntingdon is looking at.
It's an American-led project. It's been going on for quite a few years already. It's in Kazakhstan, and they're building a sour gas facility. It's probably the biggest, it's the biggest oil project in the world to date.
So have you received any support from outside sources? Has anyone else been helping you procure these deals?
Yes, we've had a great deal of assistance from the Welsh Government. They've helped us exhibit at a couple of worldwide exhibitions that we ordinarily would be out of reach for us due to cost. And also we've taken part in 3 or 4 trade missions with the Welsh Government, most recently to Japan.
And what does this mean for the company going forward?
Going forward, it means we can get into markets that ordinarily are a little bit out of reach, really. Quite difficult to go over to Japan just sort of on your own with very little knowledge and establish some contacts. If you go with Welsh Government, it kind of lends some kudos to your visit. You get to go to the embassy, meet the ambassador and all that sort of thing.
And what's Huntingdon's plans for the future? Where do you hope to go?
Well, more work to be done in Kazakhstan. We're currently pressing the Welsh Government to do a trade mission over there. There'll be plenty more of opportunities for Welsh businesses, not just ours. We tend to revisit Japan in a couple of months' time, picking up a couple of orders that we lay the foundations for when we were there at the end of last year.
Fantastic, and we wish you all the best in that endeavour. Thank you, Georgia.
Thank you.
Wales's manufacturing industry has a long and proud heritage. We spoke to Vince Stephenson about design and supply, a manufacturing firm with almost 30 years' experience, about where the company came from and where it's going.
Well, the company started out as a tool makers, and one of their customers was a industrial door company, which unfortunately went into receivership, and we were making the tools for this company to produce the doors, which is the product we now produce. So we took over that reign. We saw an opening in the markets and we had everything set up to do it. The investment was made then, and the decision was made to go down that route of the manufacturing of industrial doors.
So you tell us a bit about the ethos of the company. How do you go about doing your business?
Well, there's lots of organic companies that we deal with and have worked with over the years. And because of our attention to detail, the product is fantastic. And the customer service on top of that is, we've looked at that and identified it as a key area which needs to be absolutely spot on in order for our customers to keep coming back. And essentially what it means is that we don't want any corners on any of the ordering systems or any of the process from the minute you pick up the phone to the minute the door arrives and then your fitters actually fit it. We don't want any comebacks from that because we understand that our customers have got better things to be doing than chasing around suppliers to supply them with either fixes for a product they've had or to replace a product they've had because it doesn't work and it's not fit for purpose.
So what's the plan for the future? Where do you hope that the company is going to be in the next 5, 10, 15 years?
Yeah, well, it's exciting times at Design and Supply because we've had, obviously, with the investment in the paint line that we've got now, we've also secured quite a few projects just in this year. And then there's also projects which are follow-on projects, the next phases into builds. We've just completed a major contract for the BBC. And it's essentially, we're just trying to build on what we've already got. So, we offer fitting services now as well as manufacturing. So we're not just a manufacturer and you can buy it and then obviously you fit it yourself. So if you are geared up for fitting, fantastic, we can supply that. If not, then we've got fully qualified, approved fitters which can fit anywhere in the UK and Europe.
The business events industry is worth over £40 billion a year, but Wales currently only sees less than 2% of that market. FOR Cardiff and an alliance of local businesses have teamed up to try and change this for the benefit of all. I spoke to Adrian Field to find out more.
I'm Adrian Field, I'm the Executive Director at FOR Cardiff, which is Cardiff City Centre's Business Improvement District. So Business Improvement District is where a collection of businesses get together. In our case, we've got over 1,000 commercial properties, so each pay a levy to help fund projects that they themselves want to see. They are over and above what any public agencies, such as the police, councils, provide. And it's based on need. So for a bid to go through, it has a 5-year term. A vote takes place every 5 years, and over 50% of the businesses who vote have to say, yep, we're willing to pay this levy to fund those projects. So in Cardiff's case, we run the taxi marshal service, the night marshals, ambassadors, the guys in red coats that you'll see out and about helping tourists, liaising with businesses, telling them what's going on. We put out extra bins, for example, this weekend for the big game at the Principality. Lobbying as well, making sure that the businesses' voices are heard to the relevant authorities, really. So, we've been in existence for 2 years. We're one of over 310 bids across the UK now.
So tell us a little bit about this fund that is being put forward to position Cardiff as a leader, I suppose, in the business event stage.
Yeah, basically, this is an opportunity for the private sector to team up with Cardiff Council's team, I guess, and the tourism team to work to try and get more business events, more conferences into the city centre. What a business event does is generate a lot more tourism than it might do thereafter, I guess. So you've got, in terms of the spend that people bring to that, the hotels will benefit from a business event, the bars, etc. And people are very much likely to come back thereafter. If they've been to a conference or a business event, they're going to come back as leisure visitors. So we're keen to capture that. The private sector have got together, so that's the Hoteliers Association, members of that, a very strong group, as well as the likes of Sophia Gardens, National Museum of Wales, College of Drama and Music, and others, to basically have their say, to make our presence more felt at various exhibitions, to try and generate more interest in Cardiff and get them in, get the conference organisers to recognise that the proposition that we've got is really strong.
What do you think some of the challenges might be? What do you think we can be doing better to accommodate?
Yeah, I think long term we need to. It's well recognised. We need to improve the transport infrastructure in and out of Cardiff. That's important. I think we need to market ourselves better. We've done a good job so far. We can do better. Cardiff as a package is very, very compelling. And I think we need to shout about that. Perhaps we haven't shouted about that enough. So this pot will allow us to do that. We are, with electrification of the railway line, we're going to be less than 2 hours from London. We're the nearest capital city to London. We are the shop window for Wales, I think, and I think we've got to just not be afraid to shout about that. That's a challenge, but also an opportunity.
And speaking of opportunities, what are you hoping their success in this is going to bring to the city?
I think what we've got to appreciate is some of this won't be immediate. We've got to invest in going to the various exhibitions to pitch Cardiff to conference organisers. The results won't necessarily be instant, but we are very confident that we will get interest and bookings off the back of our offer, showcasing some of our specialist sectors as well. So if we want to sort of go down the route of being the place to go off the back of some of our strong sectors, the semi-auto, semiconductor sector, for example, and I think if we can get more people using the venues, spending money in the city, then that's got to be a good thing. What we can't do is rely on the big events for the stadium to boost the local economy. We've got to have, rather than this peak and trough, we want to have a more consistent year-round buzz about the place, and hotels full, and the bars full, and the venues full as well. And it's not just about the big stuff; it's the small, continued stuff as well. I think that's where the venues have got really interested in getting involved in this partnership, and the collaboration so far has been really, really strong. We've all got a very much a focused aim on this, and I think now is a really good time to do that.
Is your business doing something to further the field of technology? You might be surprised to learn that you may be eligible for research and development tax credits. We spoke to Matt Jones of Lime R+D to find out more.
R&D tax credits is a form of corporation tax relief available to limited companies in the UK. The whole purpose of R&D tax credits is essentially to incentivize and reward companies that work on projects involving trying to address technical challenges in their industry. So how it works, a qualifying company can recover up to 33 pence on every pound they spent doing R&D within their company. And this often does amount to quite a lot of money. To give you an example, the latest statistics by HMRC that were released in August last year show the average value of an R&D tax credit claim for a small or medium-sized company is £53,000. So it can amount to quite a lot of money. And if you're new to R&D tax credits as well, you can actually claim for 2 years in one hit. So normally that first claim really does benefit the company.
Are there a lot of companies in Wales that are eligible for these tax credits but aren't claiming them?
Yes. So per the latest HMRC statistics, we've seen a massive increase in the number of Welsh companies claiming R&D tax credits. There's been an over 50% increase in Welsh company claims, going up from 825 to 1,245 claims, which is fantastic to see. Indeed, Welsh companies benefited to the tune of £70 million in that period. So this is great news. However, Wales does still lag quite a lot behind the rest of the United Kingdom. When you compare the number of companies in Wales that could be eligible for this relief to the number who are claiming, it's clearly evident there's still a lot of companies missing out. Statistics-wise in our industry, it's often regarded that it's roughly 20% of eligible companies claim, 80% miss out, and it's thought that that statistic is even worse here in Wales. Given the average value of an SME claim, it's a big mistake to miss out, so it's essential that every business owner really checks this to make sure they're not missing out on this relief.
How can businesses find out if they're eligible?
So HMRC have a framework in place that applies to all companies in all industries. It's quite an elegant framework, but essentially a company simply needs to demonstrate two things. One is they had a project, and two, that project was technologically challenging. It's the journey that's important, not the outcome. So we're looking to see along that journey whether or not that company faced any technical difficulties in in undertaking that project. So it's quite a fairly simple concept. But to find out whether or not you can qualify for R&D tax credits costs nothing. So we at Limestone Grey are happy to discuss the eligibility with any company and to determine whether or not they can qualify for R&D tax credits completely free of charge. We even work on a contingent fee basis, so if an R&D tax credit claim wasn't accepted, then the company doesn't lose out on anything. It wouldn't cost them anything.
The Brains Brewery has long been a feature of the Cardiff city centre, but times change. And in order to maintain the excellent quality of beverages they are known for, the brewers will be moving into Cardiff Bay. Following Wales' Grand Slam Six Nations win, Prince William, the Duke of Cambridge, visited the site. We spoke to David Knowles about the future of the iconic brand.
My name is David Knowles and I'm the Senior Brand Marketing Manager here at Brains. And my responsibility is the marketing of the Brains brand and the Brains beer range and how we present ourselves to the world.
So tell us a little bit about your run-in with the Duke of Cambridge.
Yeah, it's fantastic. So we spent the last, we spent quite some time organising the building of our brand new brewery over here on the eastern side of Cardiff Bay. And we had a fantastic opportunity with the Duke coming for the Grand Slam decider at the Principality Stadium. We had an opportunity for him to offer him an invitation to come along, have a look at the brand new brewery, have a look at what we're about, and also it's following in the footsteps of generations of Welsh rugby fans down a pint of Brains SA before the big game.
So Brains Brewery have moved recently.
Yeah, we're actually in the process of doing it. So most of your listeners probably be familiar with the current brewery site that we've got just by Cardiff Station with the iconic big brick chimney in the middle with the Brains branding on it. That's a very large elderly site, and really what we wanted to do was to move to something a bit more modern, a bit more flexible, give us the opportunity to produce a beer range in line with contemporary tastes and give us more flexibility. As it is, we've had an opportunity to be involved in the redevelopment of that city centre site, and we've moved to our brand new site here on the eastern side of Cardiff Bay. And we're in the middle of commissioning and installing a new brewery, which we're currently in pre-production testing. And we've gone from our offices are right by the side, and we've gone from looking out on an empty concrete shed to looking at something that's full of shiny stainless steel pipes and vessels, and is currently in test production. We're very excited about the fact that we'll be in full-scale production here a bit later on in the spring, and at that stage we'll finally turn the taps off on the site in the middle of town and move all production here.
Fantastic, but we'll still be seeing the same Brains flavour that we all know and love.
Oh, God, yeah, no, absolutely. We're working very hard to make sure that we match our flavour profiles, and it also gives us the opportunity, as I said, with this sort of state-of-the-art kit that we've got in here now, we'll be looking to develop some exciting new beers going forward through the rest of this year and into the years ahead. So I'd say watch this space.
So beyond the beer, what's the ambition for Brains? What are you hoping to do in the next 5-10 years?
What we're looking to do is to make sure that we stay as both a brewer and a retailer. There's a lot of regional brewers our size around the country who have moved away from producing their own beers, moved away from brewing, and have sort of turned themselves just into being pub hospitality companies. And it's very important for us that we continue to brew beer, brew our own beer, and make our beers available to our customers under our own guidance, so it's not a case of getting somebody else to do it for us, it's brewing it ourselves. That's very much the heart of our DNA. But at the same time, we currently run something in the region of 170 pubs across Wales, and we want to make sure that all of those pubs offer our customers a great experience, either in terms of food, drink, or best of all, just a nice warm welcome.
Fantastic. Thanks, David. Well, I'm sure I'm speaking for many of our listeners when I say that we are very much looking forward to getting around to Brains as soon as work's done.
Absolutely. Well, I hope so. And of course, we managed to sell a few this weekend on the back of the Grand Slam, and it's very nice to be once again playing our part in the nation's celebrations.
The South Wales Crucible, led by Swansea University, has published its Science and Innovation Report to the UK government. This outlines how the consortium can make positive and lasting steps to unlock the region's innovation-led growth potential. I spoke to Kerry Jones to find out more.
So my name is Kerry Jones. I'm the Director of Research, Engagement and Innovation at Swansea University.
So what is the South Wales Crucible?
The South Wales Crucible is a consortium of initially universities within South Wales. So Cardiff University, also a key partner of ours, but also in the consortium is Aberystwyth University, and not quite in South Wales, but also got a partnership with Bangor through this consortium as well. But crucially though, it's also partnership with industry. So we've got a wide range of industry partners, and we also work closely with UK government and Welsh government.
What do you mean by innovation-led growth potential?
Well, it's also technology-led potential. This is, from a university perspective at least, is how the research that we generate within our universities, the research investment we capture through UK government, through Welsh government, through a range of other sources, including industry, is how we can convert that research into economic good. So this is the ability to, through technology, create new markets, new economies, new products, and hopefully from that create jobs.
So you recently published a innovation report to the UK government that outlines how the consortium can make positive and lasting steps to help unlock the region's innovation-led growth potential.
Yeah.
Can you go into a bit more detail? What exactly did the report find?
First of all, the report is an evidence base, so it is there to underline the research and innovation strength of the region. So this is an empirical study of not just the strength of our research within the universities, but also the density of industry, of the supply chains within these sectors and within these industries. So the report found that there are sectors of world-class, world-leading research and innovation in Wales, and around that research and innovation, there are strong industry sectors and strong industry support and supply chains that will allow the region to build on its strength, and also, crucially, to capture further investments into these technologies, into these markets, but also in a way that will allow the university sector to work collaboratively with industry and with government.
So what does the report imply that Wales could be doing better going forward to best accommodate innovation-led growth?
I think essentially, we recognise that there are some significant challenges around productivity in Wales. We know that has been historically a challenge within Wales in terms of raising levels of productivity. The level of expenditure around R&D, research and development in Wales is low compared to the UK average, and we hope through positioning the region, through the evidence in the audit report, that we can work creatively with business, with government, to try and raise, if you like, the R&D expenditure in Wales beyond the university sector, and also then creating what that we hope will allow us to do is to then, through the additional investment, to create a greater number of high-value jobs, and that's really crucial for the future of the Welsh economy. And then there's a role, of course, within Welsh universities, and really down through the pathway in terms of education, of creating the future employees with the right skill set and skills mix to supply that economy.
And now I'm joined in the studio by Chris McColgan, who's telling us all about business events going on in Wales this week. Chris, what have you got for us?
Well, hi there, Connor. This week we have 34 new events listed on the site, and two which I'd like to highlight, which are free to attend, include the Big Ideas Celebrated event taking place in Swansea on the 27th of March, and the Brexit, the Urban and Regional Implications event taking place in Cardiff on the 29th of March.
And what can people expect from these events, Chris?
Well, the Brexit event is looking into urban and regional strategies to mitigate the economic implications of Brexit, and the Big Ideas Celebrated event is an entrepreneurial event for 16 to 25-year-olds who want to get into entrepreneurship.
Fantastic. And where can people find out more about these events?
Well, if they log on to businessnewswales.com and head to our events section, they can see all these events and more.
Thanks so much for joining us, Chris.
A pleasure as always.
Well, that's all we have time for this week. Join us next time for more news from inside the Welsh business community. Till then, you can always find out more at www.businessnewswales.com. Till next time.